Emergency workers race to the scene after a small plane goes off the runway and flips upside down. Two taken to the hospital. We're live in St. Augustine at the airport tonight. Thank you for joining us on this Monday for First Coast News at 5. I'm Anthony Austin.
I'm Heather Crawford. We're glad you're with us. 3 people are injured following this plane crash at the Northeast Florida Regional Airport. St. John's Fire and Rescue tells us this plane went into a marsh and then it flipped over. And our Atia Collins is there right now. She was able to get close enough to see the plane. So Atia, let's talk a little bit about what does it look like now where you are?
Well, I'm probably about 100 yards away from where that plane crashed, and I'm actually on somebody's private property. We had to drive through the neighborhood and found some neighbors that graciously let us into their backyard so that we can get close enough to see the plane, take a look. It's still there, flipped over, sitting in the marshes, completely surrounded by grass and submerged in water. Now, if you can see, it's actually just a couple yards away from the edge of the runway. Investigators tell us the plane failed to gain altitude during a takeoff and it rolled off the runway and into the marsh where it's sitting now. Now, the crash happened just before noon at the Northeast Florida Regional Airport, 4 miles north of downtown St. Augustine. Officials with the St. John's Fire and Rescue Department say 3 people total were on board of the plane. 1 person was transported to UF Health Jacksonville, the other to Baptist South, both with non-life-threatening injuries. The 3rd person was not transported, not seriously injured. Neighbors living across from the crash site say they heard the impact, which they say sounded like a cinder block being thrown into a small pool, and they immediately went out to check, take a listen to what they saw when they got there.
Plane upside down in the marsh, 1 gentleman standing outside. A minute or so later, I realized that he was actually talking to somebody that was still inside the plane, so I knew there was somebody in the plane.
Everyone was safely removed from the plane. Again, 3 people total, none with severe injuries. Now, the Florida Highway Patrol is investigating what happened here. And I talked to an investigator who says that this small plane was owned by the local aviation school, and the school will be in charge of removing the plane from the marsh. Reporting in St. Johns County, Atia Collins, First Coast News on your side.